Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back into my channel. So in this demo, we're going to create an Azure DNS zone and record using the Azure portal. So as usual, every time before I start doing a demo with Azure, I would first of all check this website. So it's https://learn.microsoft.com. So in this article being updated on September 29, 2022. So if you read here, it says that you can configure Azure DNS to resolve host names in your public domain. For example, if you purchase the contoso.xyz domain name from a domain name register, you can configure Azure DNS to host the contoso.hyz domain to resolve www.contoso.xyz to the IP address of your web server or web app. So, and this will quickly, so you will create a test domain and then create an address record to resolve www to the IP address of 10.10.10.10. So this is an example. So they go to query and they go to Contoso DNS, and that should be the server and the response. So basically what we will do is, these are different couple steps that we will do. First of all, we'll create the DNS zone. We will create the DNS record, and then we would test the zone name. Now, be sure that just keep in mind that on these steps you have to create a server to test your zone. I mean, to test your, so with the public IP address of the server, you will be able to test your DNS, your public DNS zone. So let's go ahead and pull up the Azure portal. So there go the DNS zone. So we can give it a name. Let's just hit create. If you have a resource group already, you could just click here and add your resource group into that. But if you don't, you're gonna hit here and click create. So I didn't have one, so I would always make this be RG1, which stands for resource group 1, and I can name this AZ test DNS .com. Let me make this like that, and I can put this on East US as usual, and I can review and just create. Now it passed the validation, so I'll create. So deployment is in progress. So while this is in progress, so a public, if you want, okay, so the deployment is complete now. So basically, okay, so let's just go ahead and create the virtual machine. Okay, so we're gonna hit there, create. And let's go ahead and make sure that we put it on the same resource group. I like to do it like that. I could call this server, just call it server 1. And it's on East US, so we can put this. We already make the security type status, so let's go ahead and not wasting time and make this, put it on, put the image as Windows Server 2016 data center. Now, we can give it a name, a username and a password. And just confirm that. Okay. So now we could leave everything else as default with the exception that there's a few things here that I may need to double check to make sure, like for diagnostic booth, I can disable this. For advanced, let me go ahead and I think I'm good so far. Let me review plus create. Now, by the way, if you wonder okay, so it's past the validation, and now let's just go ahead and create. Now, Azure Public DNS is used to resolve the names of the Azure resources or resources that are accessed over the internet. Web server, Azure Public DNS provides a reliable, secure DNS service to manage and resolve domain name in a virtual network without needing to add a custom DNS resolution, guys. Now, the way to set that up is just the way that I just explained it here. So if you wonder, like, say, do I need a DNS zone in Azure? You don't need to buy a domain to host a DNS zone in the Azure DNS. You can create a DNS zone at any time without owning the domain name DNS query for this zone resolve only if they're directed to the Azure DNS name servers assigned to the zone. Now, if you wonder, does Azure DNS support zone transfer? No. Azure DNS does not currently support zone transfer. DNS zones can be imported into the Azure DNS by using the Azure CLI. The DNS records are managed by the Azure DNS Management Portal. So REST API, SDK, software development kit, and PowerShell commandlets or the CLI tool. So the zone transfer feature is tracked in the Azure DNS backlog. Okay, so now let's continue with our configuration. So we just created the DNS zone. We create, so we build a server. Now we have to create a DNS zone. So we would make sure that we created this zone. Now, just give me 1 second real quick, guys. All right, so now we gotta go ahead and now we gotta create the DNS record. All right, I apologize for that. So my phone was just ringing. Okay, so now let's go ahead and create, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we could take it from here. Yep. And create the DNS record. So the way to create that is the steps that we take. So you just have to go to this and find record set and type in this name, I can copy it, but you got to put www dot and just paste this here. And now you got to find out, which I forget I should have done earlier. I'll tell you what, let me just pull up the Azure portal and make this easier. So with this, I gotta pick up the IP address, the public IP address of that server and paste it. Where's the, okay, so there we go here. We get the public IP address and let's just paste it on the record. Okay. All right. So now the time to live, you can set that to, I would say 1 minute, and I can hit OK and hit create. Now, the only thing you got to do now is just to test the zone, which we will do in a minute. So just bear with me real quick. Okay, guys, so now we're gonna go ahead and just test the name resolution. So now that we have the test DNS zone, we have to do a test resolution to make sure that we have our stuff working. So first thing first, we have to do, let's just RDP into this machine. So the way to do that is to grab this. So this machine is no longer there with this IP address. Just go ahead and erase it. So let's add this, and then we could paste this as the public IP address of the zone, of the server. We hit enter. And then, okay, so we'll go ahead now and just make, as soon as we log into this machine, we're gonna test the DNS zone to make sure that everything works. And so basically, okay, so now, so because we're lazy, we may consider just copy a certain stuff from there. So I will need this, and I will need that. Okay, guys, so now let's switch back to this. We could say no. We gotta wait till the server is completely booted. Okay. Now you can pull up the CLI command, but as for me, I could use PowerShell since it's already here. So if you want to make this a little bit bigger, so it's this. So the way to test the public DNS is to NS lookup, and space. And then I just paste this, but I should put www dot, and then let me just switch over there real quick and just copy this, which is the server, name server one. Just switch back over there. And if I would just, oh, sorry, that, I just go here, one space, and just paste that. Now, if this worked, it should spell out the IP address, the public IP address of the server. If it not, then it doesn't work. Let's just erase this. Oh, sorry. Come. So there we go. So it works. Let's double check. So it works. So you see the NS lookup is that 40.90.4.8. So it works. So that's all we gotta do. So the host name, which is www.aztestdns.com, resolve the public IP address of the server, which I placed on the allies. Let me go back over there and just show you. So basically, it solves this IP address, and just as we configure it, so this result verifies the name and the resolution to see if it works properly. So that's pretty explanatory. So you could use Portal or PowerShell or CLI or Bicep or AMR template or Terraform to create a public DNS zone. But that was pretty simple. So I appreciate you was taking the time to follow along with me. Stay tuned for any other video for Azure. So again, I will post a link of these on the description page. So should you want to, so there we go. There where the IP it spits out. You know, should you want to use this as a guidelines to do, I mean, to practice those labs, you will find them at the bottom of my description page. So thank you again. Stay tuned for another video. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.